Hey everyone, George here, and welcome back to the Art of Water. We're going to focus on this tank a little bit today because I had a couple of different varieties of fish in this tank that I thought kind of deserved a closer look. And one of those fish is the sparkling gourami. Now, I've kind of talked about the sparkling gourami in the past regarding some of my focuses on actually this actual tank here. And what I wanted to do is talk about the other fish that sort of occupy the same space. I don't have a lot of room here for my tripod, so I'm hoping that we will see the fish that I'm talking about, which is the guy that just passed in front of the camera there just a couple of seconds ago, and that is the Dwarf Cory. I had never really um, had much luck with those fish in the past. And I find that one of the problems that I was running into was basically the dwarf cories were not getting enough food. So, with me being overly concerned with contaminating the tank with too much food, maybe not doing enough water changes, and having possible algae issues, or just, you know, too many um, parts of your water uh, not in balance. In other words, ammonia is being too high, nitrates being high, etc. So I found that the Cory, dwarf Cories really help this tank sort of balance itself out. So, in other words, the fear of overfeeding and that sort of thing in a nano tank like this was something that I wasn't sure if the dwarf cories were really going to solve that problem or not. But having said that, I did decide to get a couple of these little guys, and the ones that I purchased are not a normal dwarf cory. Now, they will school with a standard dwarf cory, but these guys are unusual, and I don't have the name. And I'm hoping that some of you out there who may see this video can kind of help me as you see this guy move around the tank. Now, of course, there are some autocinclids in here as well. I just have two of those. I don't believe in putting autocinclids in a tank that doesn't have an algae issue without putting them in at least in a pair, because the most important thing with autocinclids is they are schooling fish, and people that know about them know that they can actually be found in literally thousands at a time. They're captured in the wild in South America, of course, parts of Brazil and other parts of South America, but mainly Brazil. And so the autocinclids I had in here just to sort of keep any possibility of algae down that might develop with the brown algae that we typically get in a tank that is freshly cycled and it goes through that phase. If anyone has more than one tank in their home or in their business and knows about the brown algae phase that all tanks go through, if you can get past that phase, everything's fantastic. But in order to do that, you have to have the right balance. Now, here's one of the cories that I was talking about. Is a very unusual looking little guy. He's sort of a speckled one, almost looks like a Dalmatian type cory. That's not a real name. I'm sort of making that up, but if I could find the other one in here, I have two of them in here, and I happen to pick this guy up because the guy said, you know, I have another cory here. It's a different species, but they do school together, or will travel together. Will sort of pal around together in your tank. And so I went ahead and went with him because I just thought he was really kind of cool looking and unusual. and so therefore that's why he's in the tank. So getting back to what I was talking about the balance of this tank and how important sometimes that balance can be in getting your tank to sort of, be everything you want it to be or need it to be. I find that these little Corys go around and sort of clean up all of the tank. They're like little Hoover vacuums that just go around and sort of make sure that your food that may end up at the bottom of the tank and whatever is plentiful for them, number one. And number two, they make sure that your tank doesn't get saturated with uneaten food, and they take a really good care of that. Now, you do have to be a little bit careful if you're a little bit sensitive about how much you feed your fish, and you're worried that maybe you're going to pollute your tank and throw your bio off a whole bunch. Then you just want to start out going a little bit slow when you first get these guys. Make sure that they got nice fat bellies when you get them. Some people would suggest that you sort of have to look at their bellies similar to what you would look at an autocynklid when you get them, to make sure that they're really kind of bulked up before you get them. Because if you don't, you may not give them enough fish food at the beginning, and you can run into these Corys dying on you. So you've got to be really careful about that. Now, this is an experiment for me because I've never owned Corys before, and I'm really, really finding that they're just a wonderful fish. They're beautiful little guys. They're a nice little asset to your tank. This is a nano tank. This is just a 5 gallon, so it's not a big tank. There's not a lot of room in here. So basically, to give you a rundown on what I have in here, I have 3 sparkling Grammies. I did have 4, but unfortunately a year ago when I purchased them, I was doing a water change and one of them jumped out of the water, and I didn't know that, and I didn't find him for a few days. So that was unfortunate, but we do have 3 sparkling Grammies in here, 2 autocynclids, and 2 Cory. Dwarf Corys in here. Now, again, I don't know the name of this particular species, but there are 2 of them in here, and one is a normal Dwarf Cory, and this guy here, I still don't know the name. I've been looking them up. I can't seem to find that, but if any of you have ideas on what this guy's species is, this guy right here, I would really love to have someone make some comments about that and tell me more about this particular fish. Great little guys. I have been sort of increasing the food little by little by little, and they have been more active because I do that. I tend to put some pellets in here that are really small, and I do that towards the evening as the lights are going to be turned out. And it appears that these guys will go around and scavenge in the evening and just get plenty to eat, other than just the food that you normally would feed the sparkling Grammies during the day. And they seem to be doing really, really well. The tank's healthy, everything. I just fed them a few minutes ago, so you're going to see lots of little spots of food sitting around on these leaves. And this is one of the reasons why I got these Corys, is because I really felt that researching them, they were really the exact fish I was going to need for this particular tank, and that they would get the job done of making sure that this tank is well kept up, and that these little guys would be doing their job to maintain a very clean substrate at the bottom. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to go around and do your water changes. I do a 50% water change once a week. I can't talk. I do a 50% water change once a week, and then I do a quarter water change on the weekend. And of course, in a 5-gallon tank, that's more than adequate to keep this tank extremely clean and well kept. I also go around and scrub the glass and that kind of thing with a little bit of a toothbrush or a soft pad of some kind. And you can see this little guy right here. He's just really, well, he's gone now, but just a really active little guy. And I think one of the coolest little fish I've really ever seen. Again, I didn't know much about Corys until I started talking to someone about them, and they said, yeah, you got to get some of those and throw them in your nano tanks because they don't get very big. They're not going to get any bigger than what you see right here. They don't take up much space, and they certainly don't add much to your bio uh, load. And if anything, they're going to help that bio load by going around and keeping the tank clean. So that being said, I want to just get some input from anyone out there that's willing to give me some information on these Corys and this particular guy in particular, because his markings are very different. And I know the gentleman in the store gave me the specific species of this Cory, this Dwarf Cory, and unfortunately, where I wrote it down, I've misplaced that. I've been trying to find them online, and I haven't really been able to find them. So I'll continue to look, and if I find anything, I'll certainly add it in the comments section. The other thing I wanted to say is we are continuing with our subscription contest that's going on. We're going to be giving away a $100 gift certificate when we reach 5,000 subscribers, and then we're going to do the same thing again when we reach 10,000 subscribers. Now, I never set out to have a YouTube channel that was anything more than informational and just sort of sharing with people the tanks that I build and whatever, but those who know me know that I am in a business where music is very much a part of my life, and you'll notice that a lot of my videos do have music attached to them, just really videos that are quite beautiful with the different tanks that I have. I have over 25 tanks in my home right now, and most of them are between 5 gallons and 25-gallon tanks. And so really most of them would be considered nano tanks as far as I'm concerned. I really like that because it gives us a lot of opportunity to put a lot of plants in there and sort of be creative with the environment. But anyways, I'm hoping that we'll get people to subscribe. It doesn't really have a huge impact on why I'm doing this channel. It really comes down to knowing and planning for these vlogs in the future, because to me, if I know what you're interested in and I have information about that that's going to help you, or vice versa, if you have information that's going to help me, then that is really quite cool to me to have that scenario. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And you know, if we can get subscribers up and we can give some things away, that's more fun, just because I get to do something to say thank you and to continue on feeling as though people are getting something out of the channel, and in doing so, I'm helping some people, and of course the input that you give me every day also helps me. Anyways, thank you for your time. I hope everyone's having, today's Halloween, I hope everyone's having a great Halloween day, and everything will be great tonight. Everybody stay safe out there with your kids and so forth. My kids are grown. They're going to come over and put candy out for us. We're giving out Swedish fish, believe it or not. So I thought that was kind of cool that my daughter came up with that idea. Probably not a unique idea of any kind. I'm sure that's been done before. But anyways, please subscribe, please comment, please give us a thumbs up, and take a look at the video. And if you have any idea about these little Corys that I should know, or you can add to whatever I have not said here, I would sure appreciate the opportunity to get some more information from you. And I'll continue to research them as well and get to know them a little bit better. But they're in good hands. This tank's been established for, wow, I guess a year and a half now. I have rescaped it once because I was kind of bored with it here about 6 months ago. But still a great little tank, and a great addition is these little Cory, Dwarf Corys that I would like to know more about. So if anyone has that information, leave it in the comment section. And as always, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and leave your comments. Anyways, George with the Art of Water. Always nice to talk to you guys, and we'll talk again soon.